Hey everyone, welcome back to Cuff'em and Quote'em. Today's episode, I wanted to do the first in a little series that I'm doing. It's kind of like a mixture between a read-along and a react video with the crazy, I suppose, news that Stephanie Meyer is finally publishing her Midnight Sun book, which I'm still not entirely sure what that is. Is it a prequel or is it just a different point of view? Articles are calling it both, so I'm really confused. But anyway, with all that hype, I figured I would get back on the bandwagon because I used to be a die-hard Twilight fan. Like, die-hard. I used to go to her book signings. I had a book that was signed by her, addressed to me. Like, I was a die-hard. I used to be on the bandwagon hard. And then I just, I couldn't. So I've read all the Twilight. And I've read The Host. I still have The Host somewhere in here. Oh, yeah, it's in there. Found it. I liked The Host. It wasn't like amazing writing, but it was a good book. I liked The Host. And so I've never read The Chemist though. I kind of gave up after The Host. Once it became clear she wasn't going to do a sequel to The Host, which is the sequel we really do want, if you're listening. Anyway, I haven't read The Chemist. I didn't even know it had come out until I saw it in the bookstore while I was wandering by Barnes & Noble one day, and I was like, what's this? Also, mug of the day. It's my other favorite mug. Duct tape. I was gonna do a video where I showed y'all my mugs, but I figured it might be funnier if I just each video do different mugs. I have enough mugs to do a different mug in each video. I've never read The Chemist. Reading the back flap, it felt like a Jason Bourne again. So I haven't read it. But with this new hype, my wife was like, you should really read The Chemist and react to it, especially since I'm a cop. And she's supposed to be some sort of like, I don't know, it works for the government in some capacity. I don't know. So here is the first in the series of a read-along react to thing. If you want to read along with The Chemist, by all means, let's do this. I'm trying really hard to be open-minded about it. I don't know if I will succeed, but I will try really hard. But yes, if you want to read along with me, I don't really have a very set schedule for reading this. I'm gonna do chapters in like blocks because the chapters are kind of short, so I didn't want to do one video for each chapter or else would be here for days. But so this one is going to be chapters 1 through 4 because that's when I ran out of beer and I had to stop. So that will be this video, is 1 through 4. But yeah, if you guys want to read along with me and we can do a little book discussion as I react to this, I hope it gets better. So anyway, let's begin. So The Chemist. But the main character, whose name I think is Juliana, I don't know, it changes every chapter, which is kind of cool. I like the idea that like she's on the run, so she changes her name in each chapter. She has a different name, so that's kind of cool. Is on the run, has been for 3 years. I'm drinking real English tea that my English friend smuggled across the ocean for me. Anyway, so she's on the run for 3 years because the government, a department in the government, they are trying to kill her because she knows a thing. This book is vaguely specific to the point where I don't know if I know what's happening. And I will demonstrate later. So far that's what I've got. She's on the run for 3 years. She's hopping, bebopping all over who knows where, trying to exist. And her old boss contacts her and says, hey, we're not going to try to kill you anymore, we promise, but we need you to help us. And she goes, it's a trap, let's do it. And goes and meets with the boss and is agreeing to help him, hasn't made up her mind yet. Don't know. That's where I'm at. That's chapters 1 through 4. I have large issues with this so far. I can't get into it. Like, I don't know if it's the writing style. I don't know if it's my attitude towards it, but the first, I don't know, 2 chapters, I think, she's on the run and she's like sneaking into libraries and she's trying to steal stuff without being caught. Like, it's very, you can tell that she did her research on how someone would try to live off the grid, but I don't think she's actually ever talked to someone and went, hey, how easy would that be? It just doesn't, it doesn't strike me as real. Like, I have no sense of like, oh my God, someone's coming after her. Like, I don't at any point really think she's in danger at all. At no point does that come across my mind. I don't buy into the high stakes that she's trying to put across in the first couple of chapters. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just too specific. It's vaguely specific all the time. Like, she doesn't say what town she's in or where she's traveling. She's just traveling on a freeway through some towns in a part of the US. But then she like nitpicks and like, this is what she's wearing, this is where she's driving, and this is the vehicle that she's in, and this is the kind of books that she's, I don't know, it's like she's so specific about some things, but then she's so vague about like where the fuck she is. And I get it that she's like on the run and you're not supposed to know where she is, but like as the reader, I'm not the one trying to kill her, so I would like to know where she is and like what. I don't understand her timeline. Like, she drives for hours through several towns before she stops in one that's just big enough that she can fit in, but not so small that they remember her, but it has resources, and I'm like, where are you that you could drive that far? And then be like, oh yeah, and then I took this really extremely roundabout several extra hours home, and I got home and it was dark. Like, you could drive for 8 hours in some places and come across like a farm. So like, I can't put her in reality, because her lengths of travel time versus her lengths of stay like in the library where she's doing reconnaissance by reading spy fiction, because she's completely outsourced all of her nonfiction material. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how physics works in this book, because not only does she drive for hours and nobody knows where she is, and then drives for hours again and spend for hours at the library, and she somehow only managed to spend a day. Whatever. Anyway. My other big issue with this is I don't think she knows how physics works. I don't think she knows how time works. I don't think she knows how physics works. Because there's a section, and this has been driving me nuts since I read it, like, I don't understand. She's putting up her like booby trappy crap at her crash pad. There's so much about that, but I'm gonna try to stay focused. So she's putting up her booby trappy crap that spies, because apparently I got to focus. Okay, hang on. So she puts a fake person in the bed. She like does pillows, and like a 5-year-old is pretending to psych mom out that she's still in bed. So she puts pillows and crap and makes it look like a person, and then like a Halloween mask and a wig, and goes, yeah, I'm sleeping in the bed. And then it's wired, and there's wires that she has to like really carefully blah, 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 because if they get disturbed, things go kablooey. Those wires are, this is the part where I'm willing to give that. This is the part where I'm like, no! The wires are connected to a doodad in the vent. So you know how you have like vents in your house where you pick up the vent grate and then there's a big duct because you have heating? Last I checked, and I've lived in not a lot of places, but enough places that I've established that heating vents are all about the same size. They're about yay big. And then they kind of like and curve down and go to wherever your heating ducts are. She literally, vaguely specific, says she removes the grate. I'll just find it and I'll read it to you, and you can explain to me how. Okay, this is it's a little tiny paragraph. It's nothing. I'll just read it to you really quick. She loosened the top screws and removed the grill of the vent, the grill vent. A few things would be immediately obvious to anyone who looked inside the vent. 1, the back of the vent was sealed off, so it was no longer functional. 2, the large white bucket and the big battery pack probably didn't belong down there. The large white bucket doesn't... This is the size of my vent. I'm not fitting any large white bucket down that thing. What? Large white bucket. Okay. She pried the lid off the bucket and was immediately greeted by the smell of the chemical smell that infused the front room, so familiar she barely noticed it. She reached into the darkness behind the bucket. Oh, I lost my page. I just dropped my page. Damn it. She reached into the darkness behind the bucket and pulled out, because there's more room. Oh, sorry, crooked. Sorry. Oh, a small, awkward contraption. No further description needed. With a coil, metal arms, thin wires, and a small glass ampule about the size of her finger, and finally a rubber cleaning glove. How do you fit all of that into a heating grate vent thing? Like, the part that gets me is it's just a large white bucket. Vaguely specific. Whatever. Anyway, so then she wires the contraption together, and if you knock the fake head off of the doll, the thing goes kablooey with some sort of not specific chemical that will kill you in a very specific way. Because everything in this book is oddly, vaguely specific. Whatever. I don't understand how any of that's supposed to work, or how it's... Gotta find my page. I lost my page. Because I don't use real bookmarks. I use the covers of it. There it is. I don't use real bookmarks. I just do that. Drives my wife insane. So that was like that was the moment where I was like, I don't know if I can finish this book, because that's just bad writing, in my opinion. Like, I don't understand that entire scene. Like, I understand conceptually what she's trying to make a booby trap if someone knocks the head off, a chemical reaction happens. But like, I can't visualize it because that is so vague, and the physics from what I'm picturing in my head don't work. And that's not the only time that happens. Later, I don't understand many things about this book, but she goes, and so she's trying to meet her boss because he's going to put up a meet so that they can not work together, maybe work together. I don't know. It's being told third person from this chick's point of view. I should have some insight to what the hell she's thinking. I should not be so confused about what is happening all the time. So she goes and meets, like, she basically, the meeting's on Friday and she goes up on Wednesday and is like, haha, surprise, I'm going to talk to you now because you couldn't prepare. Oh, sorry, no, the other thing, I forgot, I completely road bumped over the other thing that I don't understand. The assassins who have been trying to kill her for 3 years, that has her sleeping in a tub with a gas mask on, apparently only come at night. Because if you really wanted to kill somebody, you only come at one point in time so consistently that they can put together that specific of a plan. Like, I just don't buy it. I can't buy it. Like, You're telling me that you've been on the run for 3 years and you've only had 3 assassins come after you, and they've all only come at night, and that's why this trap works? Like, I just don't understand. I don't buy why. I cannot buy into the physics of this book. Anyway, so she goes, speed bump back over that. So she goes to the meeting place early, and surprise, surprise. Anyway, she goes to, like, she puts on her, what does she call it? Battle gear? Armor? And it's like a bunch of booby-trapped chemistry, blowy chemical goo stuff. Like, that's not practical in any kind of way. She's got a belt that's a thick belt that's braided. A thick braided belt that somehow manages to get a bunch of syringes in it. And in such a way that she can pull them out individually and stab with the syringe, but also are arranged in such a way that she can use a mechanism, no further description given, that can be used in such a way that you can, like, I'm assuming, unhook the belt and, like, stab with, like, prongs of 4 or something. I can't visualize it. How, I deal with syringes all the time. They're small, but they ain't that small. Like, how on earth are you putting a syringe into a belt that I'm assuming is uncapped because you're pulling them out and stab, and I'm assuming loaded? And they're arranged in such a way that you can pull them out, but they can't be seen. But have a mechanism that turns them into, like, I'm going to stab you with the end of my belt because it's got a bunch of needles in it. I don't understand. Like, I used to read the Anita Blake books. I'm pointing because they're over there. I used to read the Anita Blake books, and Laurell K. Hamilton can write an assassin like no one's business. You can tell that the author of Laurell K. Hamilton, the author of Anita Blake books, is familiar with the weapons she's talking about. She knows how to place them. She knows what they feel like when they're placed. She knows how to draw them. And when she's describing Anita putting on all of her shit before she goes kick vampire, werewolf, whatever bad guy of the book it is, you can visualize her putting on all this stuff because you're like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Like, you would put the gun right here and it would fit in the small of the back, but because she's really thin chested, right? You can visualize the weapons. I can't visualize any of this crap. And it's coming across to me as if Stephanie Meyer can't visualize it either. Like, she's writing this as if, like, yeah, this will work, but she's never tried to actually figure out how it would work. And so she's writing it in an extremely vaguely specific way. Like, it's extremely specific to have a belt that's got a bunch of loaded syringes in there that you can, like, pull them out and, like, James Bond it. But it's so vague that the only description you get is that it's a wide braided belt with syringes stuffed in it somehow. I can't. Reading this so far, and I will admit I'm only chapter 4. I'm only a whopping 46 pages into this thing. I'm willing to accept that there might be some grand scheme. Maybe it's being extremely big on purpose and there's a bigger plan. I hope. I don't know. I am having such a hard time investing myself in it because I don't feel like I'm reading something where the author knew what she was writing. Like, I still don't know what the hell she does. I know that she's a chemist. And because all of her weird booby-trappy things are chemical reaction things. Oh yeah, can we just talk about how impractical her earrings are? So some of her things are little earrings that she wears that are like little dangly dewdroppy dudes, where if you break the glass, it, right, and does a chemical no good. The glass is so fragile, though, that if she literally says a high note could break the glass, and if she walks wrong, and if it like bloop bloop, it'll break. And that she has to, like, perfect a very specific manner of walking so that they don't move too much. That's not practical at all. Why would you carry the one? Why would you risk carrying that crap around? And two, so say, like, the whole thought is that if someone tries to, like, grab her by the neck, they'll bump the things and goo in their face. What happens if they don't grab your neck and you just have to run for it? Well, now there's goo going everywhere because your necklaces or your earrings are too freaking fragile for anything. It's not practical. It looks really cool and sounds really cool when you're like, oh, I'm gonna have these cool earrings that explode and then they're gonna put gas in people's face and they're really fragile, so if you just touch them wrong, they'll break. But if I have to run for my life, I guess we're just gonna hold my breath and hope I don't inhale the stuff that's gonna kill everybody. What? Whatever. Anyway, moving on. And the other thing that was really bothering me, and this is a personal peeve of mine. So in my job, I deal with the CIT unit, Crisis Intervention Team. So I handle anything with a mental component. Any kind of like suspect, victim, if there's a mental component to it, like a mental illness, anything like that, I handle those cases. Consistently, without fail, people who are having delusions will always say, they are after me. And they get no more specific than that. They are after me. They're doing this. They're bugging my phones. It's the ominous. It's the big scary they. They're after me. And because it's a delusion, because mental illnesses aren't helpful little things that give us information, they don't really get, like, they're after me. Who? The aliens. Okay. They're after me. That's how her book comes across. It's like the big scary they that she doesn't want to put a name to because she thinks the more vague she is, the scarier it is. Tell me the CIA is after her because she found some really cool classified information that nobody is supposed to know and now they're worried she's going to sell it. Tell me that. I could buy that. But this big scary boogeyman that doesn't have a name other than they, like, I just can't buy it. It feels cheesy. It comes across as cheesy and it comes across as half-baked. And I'm hoping the reason it is like that is because she wanted to be vague on purpose to build the level of, like, I don't know what's going on feeling to it, and that it, like, comes back around someplace here in a minute. I'm worried, though, that this was her. I'm worried that it's not. I'm worried that it's just going to be a lot of underbaked cliches and the wrong type of research. I don't know. Like, I can tell she did research because, like, at one point they mention that she has to go get more peaches because peaches can be used to make a chemical. And so I'm like, that's horseshit. So I went and Googled it. Yeah, apparently you can somehow cyanide from peach pits. So, like, she clearly found the same articles that I found. I was like, oh, that's a thing. But she never expands on that. She just assumes that you'll make the leap that, oh, she's making cyanide. That's really cool. But I don't buy it. Like, whatever. Say love you. Anyway, comment what you think. Am I just being a bitch about it? And should I just relax and read the book? Or were these things bothering to you too? Did I miss something? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on it below. Let me know if I should just shut up and read the book and if it gets better. I'm trying really hard to be open-minded. I mean, I loved her books when I was a teenager. The problem is I grew up and I feel like her writing didn't. So I don't know, maybe I should. But this is an adult book. I can't be like, well, maybe it's just a young adult. No, this is definitely an adult book. I can't. Anyway, I am trying. Maybe I just need to grab another beer and I can plow through another 4 chapters and they'll get better. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts. Have a little discussion on the first 4 chapters below. We'll see what happens. I love this mug. This mug is a pun. But anyway. Like and subscribe, please. I'm going to try to do these in addition to the Friday weekly upload. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Like and subscribe. Be nice to each other. Read a good book. And I'll see you next time.